In a world where most wealthy millennials and Gen Z are fixated on capturing the next viral moment on social media, Hugh Grosvenor stands out. Unlike his peers, the 7th Duke of Westminster, who has more money than King Charles, avoids flaunting his wealth online. While influencers chase fame, Grosvenor, a 32-year-old aristocrat with a fortune in the billions, manages vast estates and focuses on philanthropy. On January 29, 1991, Hugh Grosvenor was born into the prestigious Grosvenor family. It's important to understand that the Grosvenors are not just any family, they are one of Britain's most illustrious aristocratic lineages, with a history of influence spanning over 1,000 years. Although they may not hold the title of Britain's oldest non-royal aristocratic family, they share elite status with other historical powerhouses such as the Percys and Howards. Hugh was born to Gerald Grosvenor, the 6th Duke of Westminster, and his wife, Natalia. From the start, it was clear that Hugh's life would be anything but ordinary. With the Grosvenor estate valued at an astonishing £9 billion, Hugh became the 7th Duke of Westminster in 2016. As a young millennial, he suddenly inherited not only vast wealth, but also an empire built over centuries. Contrary to what one might expect, Hugh's early education began at a local state primary school before moving on to a preparatory school. He later attended Ellesmere College, a lesser-known public school in Shropshire, where he excelled both academically and in cricket. When it came time for university, Hugh chose Newcastle University over the more expected Oxford or Cambridge. Hugh graduated in 2013 with a degree in agriculture and joined the Wheatsheaf Group, an agriculture and food investment firm that is part of the Grosvenors' extensive Eton estate. This was not merely a comfortable position handed to him, but a strategic entry into the family business, serving as an apprenticeship in estate management. As he embarked on this foundational phase, Hugh's career trajectory took unexpected turns, paving the way for a future filled with both opportunities and challenges. In August 2016, Hugh Grosvenor's life dramatically changed when his father, Gerald Grosvenor, the 6th Duke of Westminster, passed away unexpectedly at the age of 64. This event was more than just a transition of titles. It marked Hugh's ascension as the 7th Duke of Westminster and the inheritor of an extensive empire. The empire is divided into 3 major portfolios: the Grosvenor Group, the Family Office, and the Wheatsheaf Group. The Grosvenor Group alone manages assets worth £11.8 billion. In a country known for its stringent inheritance taxes, the Grosvenors have adeptly avoided heavy financial burdens through the strategic use of trusts. These trusts have largely shielded their assets from Britain's inheritance tax system. Although Hugh Grosvenor is associated with immense wealth, he doesn't own these assets directly. Instead, he benefits from an estate trust that provides income without giving him individual ownership rights. This arrangement attracted public scrutiny and criticism in 2017, with accusations of tax avoidance. While the family trusts are subject to British taxes, including a 6% charge on many assets every decade, opinions differ on whether this constitutes fair tax practice. As the 2010s drew to a close, the responsibility of leading the Grosvenor Group firmly rested on Hugh Grosvenor's shoulders. The world watched closely to see how he would navigate these complex and highly scrutinized waters, as he not only stepped into his father's role, but also onto a stage where every decision and move would be magnified. Hugh Grosvenor, now the owner and chair of trustees of the Grosvenor Group, isn't just preserving ancestral wealth. He's a modern magnate, guiding an international giant in real estate development and investment. Far from the traditional image of a nobleman overseeing a few English estates, the Grosvenor Empire extends well beyond the elite areas of Mayfair and Belgravia. The group's influence is global, with holdings that span from Annacis Island in Vancouver, Canada, to luxury residential projects in Tokyo, Japan. The estate also includes prime real estate in Hong Kong, San Francisco, and various European cities. Contrary to the stereotype of aristocratic wealth being solely tied to grand buildings and vast estates, the Grosvenor empire is diverse and forward-thinking. Hugh Grosvenor is thus not bound by tradition. He is a visionary who understands that even the most established empires must evolve to stay relevant. Venture capital investment marks another significant shift in the Grosvenor legacy. Moving beyond traditional real estate, the group has invested £2.1 million in Commonplace, a digital engagement platform for community planning. Additionally, they have participated in a Series A funding round for Qualis Flow, a construction tech firm focused on environmental risk management, among other strategic investments. Hugh Grosvenor embodies a reimagined role for the Duke of Westminster. He has infused the portfolio with liquidity and innovation, steering it away from solely conventional investment avenues. Grosvenor stands as a testament to how empires must adapt, even those with deeply rooted legacies and monumental expectations. In an era dominated by social media, where every action is Instagrammed and every thought tweeted, Hugh Grosvenor takes a markedly different path. Unlike many of his millennial aristocratic and royal peers, such as Prince Harry and Meghan Markle, whose lives are widely publicized, or Lady Kitty Spencer, a regular at fashion shows and high society galas, the Duke of Westminster prefers to stay out of the limelight. His absence from public scrutiny is not a mere consequence of privilege, but a deliberate choice. Despite his status, he skillfully balances his societal obligations while fiercely protecting his private life. His substantial inherited wealth and the Grosvenor family's extensive property holdings became emblematic of the economic disparities troubling Britain. This scrutiny intensified with revelations about the use of complex trusts and financial mechanisms entirely legal but morally questionable to some, particularly as the wealth gap widens. The spotlight grew harsher with the release of the Paradise Papers, a trove of 13.4 million confidential documents revealing the financial maneuvers of many high-profile individuals and companies, including the Grosvenor family. Until 1999, millions had been funneled into offshore firms, with half of the shares in a subsidiary managing the family's North American and Australian operations controlled by entities in tax havens. Despite the controversies and the critical lens through which his financial dealings have been viewed, Hugh Grosvenor is often perceived more favorably than one might expect for someone of his wealth. This more charitable view stems from several factors. Unlike the stereotypical image of the wealthy aristocrat exploiting the system, Hugh is seen as a responsible and conscientious individual. His commitment to his duties, along with a genuine effort to maintain a low profile and focus on meaningful work rather than public attention, contributes to this positive perception. As one of the top 15 richest individuals in the United Kingdom and a trusted associate of the royal family, the Duke of Westminster stands at the intersection of power and prestige. However, Hugh Grosvenor is not your average aristocrat. He is a millennial duke, tech-savvy, progressive, and acutely aware of his generational context. In an era where millennials and Gen Z can capture public attention with a single tweet, Grosvenor's youthful presence has the potential to transform the aristocracy from a relic of the past into a dynamic and relevant entity. He can shape opinions and policies for decades, serving as a bridge between the centuries-old establishment and the modern attention-driven generation. Philanthropy is a key aspect of Grosvenor's role. As the chair of trustees for the Westminster Foundation, he actively supports organizations that focus on vulnerable children. This involvement is not just a superficial role. It demonstrates his commitment to being an engaged, conscientious, and proactive aristocrat in the 21st century. Grosvenor's contemporary approach is not only enhancing his family's fortune, but also rebranding the British aristocracy itself. For years, the noble classes have been perceived as outdated, detached, and losing influence. Grosvenor challenges this narrative by leveraging modern strategies, portraying aristocrats not as outdated relics, but as dynamic entrepreneurs adapting to a changing world. He is not just maintaining estates, he is renovating the very image of British nobility. Therefore, Hugh Grosvenor, the 7th Duke of Westminster, is more than just a wealthy nobleman. He is a symbol of what the aristocracy could become in an era demanding change. If the aristocracy plays its cards right, they could follow his lead, transforming their roles and relevance in contemporary society. What are your thoughts on the billionaire hiding his millions in UK property? Share that in the comments. And if you enjoyed this video, please click the notification bell to stay updated with the latest in the luxury world, only here at Luxury Mindset. See you in the next video.